William Shakespeare, England's renowned playwright, crafted historical plays exploring power, ambition, and fate. Richard II, written around 1595, delves into the tumultuous reign of King Richard II. This period, part of the Plantagenet era, was marked by political intrigue and instability. Shakespeare uses this historical backdrop to examine the complexities of kingship and the consequences of misrule. Shakespeare's play reflects the anxieties of his time. The Tudor dynasty, which ruled England during Shakespeare's life, was itself descended from a usurper. This historical context adds another layer of complexity to the play's exploration of power and legitimacy. Richard II serves as a powerful examination of the human condition. Through his characters, Shakespeare explores themes that remain relevant centuries later. The play's enduring power lies in its ability to resonate with audiences across time and cultures. Richard II chronicles the final years of King Richard II's reign. The play opens with a dispute between Henry Bolingbroke, Duke of Hereford, and Thomas Mowbray, Duke of Norfolk. Richard, indecisive and impulsive, exiles both men instead of resolving their conflict. This act sets in motion a chain of events that will lead to Richard's downfall. Bolingbroke, fueled by a desire for revenge and perhaps the crown itself, returns from exile after his father's death. He gathers support, capitalizing on Richard's growing unpopularity. Richard, meanwhile, demonstrates a fatal disconnect from the realities of power. The play culminates in a dramatic confrontation between Richard and Bolingbroke. Richard, abandoned and betrayed, relinquishes his crown to Bolingbroke, who becomes King Henry IV. The play ends with Richard's murder, a stark reminder of the brutality of power struggles. Richard II is a complex and tragic figure. He possesses an almost poetic sensibility and a deep belief in his divine right to rule. However, he lacks the political acumen and decisiveness needed to be an effective king. His actions are often driven by emotion rather than strategy, leading to disastrous consequences. Richard's belief in his own divine right proves to be his undoing. He fails to recognize the shifting political landscape and the growing discontent among his nobles. His detachment from the realities of power leaves him vulnerable to Bolingbroke's ambition. Throughout the play, Richard's character undergoes a profound transformation. Stripped of his power and dignity, he is forced to confront the consequences of his actions. In his final moments, he displays a flicker of self-awareness, acknowledging his own role in his downfall. Henry Bolingbroke, later King Henry IV, is the play's other central figure. In contrast to Richard, he is a shrewd and calculating politician. While he initially presents himself as a loyal subject, his actions reveal a deep ambition for power. Bolingbroke is a master strategist, skillfully manipulating events to his advantage. He understands the importance of public opinion and uses Richard's unpopularity to garner support for his own claim to the throne. His ambition, however, comes at a cost, as he is haunted by the knowledge of his own treachery. Shakespeare does not present Bolingbroke as a straightforward villain. He is a complex character driven by a desire for justice, revenge, and ultimately, power. His rise to power raises questions about the nature of ambition and the legitimacy of seizing the throne. Section 5. Supporting caste loyalty and ambition. Richard II is populated by a rich cast of supporting characters who reflect the play's themes of loyalty, ambition, and, the fickle nature of power. These characters are not just background figures, they are integral to the unfolding drama and the exploration of these themes. The Duke of York, Richard's uncle, embodies the conflict between loyalty to the crown and the pragmatic need to survive in a changing political landscape. His internal struggle is a microcosm of the larger political turmoil that engulfs the kingdom. The Earl of Northumberland and his son Hotspur initially support Bolingbroke's claim to the throne. Their support is driven by a mix of personal ambition and a genuine belief in Bolingbroke's cause. However, their ambition soon leads them to challenge Henry IV's authority, highlighting the cyclical nature of power struggles. This ambition is not just a personal trait, but a reflection of the broader societal shifts and the relentless quest for power. Their rebellion foreshadows the conflicts that will dominate Shakespeare's later history plays, Henry IV, Part 1 and Henry IV, Part 2. These plays continue to explore the themes of loyalty and ambition, showing how these forces shape the destinies of individuals and nations. The women in Richard II, Queen Isabel, the Duchess of Gloucester and the Duchess of York, offer poignant commentary on the play's events. Their perspectives provide a counterpoint to the male-dominated political narrative. They provide a human dimension to the political machinations, expressing grief, loyalty and despair as they witness the downfall of kings and the destruction wrought by ambition. Their emotional responses underscore the personal costs of political power struggles, making the play's themes resonate on a deeply human level. Section 6. The Divine Right of Kings Questioning Authority. Richard II directly challenges the concept of the divine right of kings, a belief that was deeply ingrained in the societal and political fabric of the time. This doctrine, prevalent in Shakespeare's time, held that monarchs derived their authority directly from God, making them answerable only to divine judgment. To question a king's authority was to question God's will, a notion that was both powerful and perilous. Richard firmly believes in his divine right to rule, declaring, "Not all the water in the rough rude sea can wash the balm from an anointed king." His conviction is unwavering. However, his actions contradict this belief, revealing a deep internal conflict. His misrule, his detachment from his people, and his failure to uphold justice undermine the very foundation of his authority, leading to widespread discontent. Bolingbroke's rise to power directly challenges the notion of divine right, presenting an alternative vision of leadership. He seizes the throne not through lineage but through force and popular support, suggesting that a king's legitimacy ultimately rests on the consent of the governed, not divine sanction. This idea, radical in Shakespeare's time, would have resonated with audiences living under the Tudor dynasty, which itself came to power through usurpation, challenging the very essence of divine right. Section 7. Legitimacy and Power, the Weight of the Crown. Richard II grapples with the complex relationship between legitimacy and power. His reign is marked by a constant struggle to balance his inherited right to rule with the expectations and needs of his subjects. While Richard is the rightful heir to the throne, his actions call into question his fitness to rule. His decisions often seem disconnected from the realities of governance, leading to unrest and dissatisfaction among his people. Bolingbroke, on the other hand, seizes power through force, raising questions about the legitimacy of his claim. His ascent to power is marked by conflict and bloodshed, challenging the traditional notions of rightful rule. The play suggests that true legitimacy stems not merely from lineage, but from a ruler's ability to govern justly and effectively. It is the ruler's actions and their impact on the people that ultimately define their right to lead. Richard's downfall highlights the dangers of a ruler who is detached from his people and blind to the realities of power. His inability to connect with his subjects and address their concerns leads to his eventual demise. Richard II explores the burdens of leadership and the toll that power takes on those who wield it. The weight of the crown is not just a physical burden, but a profound emotional and psychological one. Both Richard and Bolingbroke are ultimately consumed by the weight of the crown, demonstrating that even in victory, there can be a profound sense of loss. The crown, a symbol of power, becomes a heavy burden that shapes their destinies. Section 8. Historical Significance. Echoes of Richard II. Richard II had significant historical resonance in Shakespeare's England. The play's exploration of rebellion, deposition, and the legitimacy of rule resonated with audiences living under the Tudor dynasty. Queen Elizabeth I, the reigning monarch, was herself descended from a usurper, Henry IV's son, Henry V. The play's depiction of Richard II's deposition raised sensitive political questions. Elizabeth I, like Richard, faced challenges to her authority throughout her reign. The play's exploration of these themes made it a potentially controversial work in Elizabethan England. Richard II serves as a reminder that history is not merely a collection of facts. It is a narrative shaped by those who write it. Shakespeare's play, while based on historical events, offers a particular interpretation of Richard II's reign, one that reflects the anxieties and concerns of his own time. Section 9. Conclusion: Enduring relevance. Richard II remains a powerful and relevant work centuries after its creation. Its exploration of power, ambition, legitimacy, and the nature of kingship continues to resonate with audiences today. The play's themes of political intrigue, the abuse of power, and the struggle for legitimacy are as relevant today as they were in Shakespeare's time. Richard II's tragic fall from grace serves as a timeless reminder of the dangers of misrule and the importance of responsible leadership. Richard II is a testament to Shakespeare's ability to capture the complexities of the human experience. Through his characters and their struggles, he offers profound insights into the nature of power, the burdens of leadership, and the enduring relevance of history.